Hello everyone, this is Stan Heller with VectorVest Canada, and today's video is all about great graphs from VectorVest, and in particular I want to explain the best fit and weekly graph features. These are exclusive to the VectorVest program, and also the Enhanced ProTrader setup using best fit and the weekly graph layout. And you can see I've used it down below with West Pharmacy and the US software, and very good results using the weekly best fit with relative timing, which I will add to the Enhanced ProTrader Timing graph. All three bottom indicators here, including the MACD, RT, DPO, bullish or positive, and price action crossing above the 30-day weighted moving average, which is also part of the Enhanced ProTrader layout. And you can see a very strong result from April 6th, which just happened to be the DEW up signal after the market bottom. So just a reminder on our risk disclaimer: everything you will see in here is for educational purposes only and should never be considered as investment advice. So again, what we're going to cover is the weekly graph versus the end of week graph. The end of week is the common typical graph in most charting packages, but in VectorVest we go one step further and we have the weekly graph, and I want to show you the difference. And then I'll show you how to change your default settings to best fit. The best fit gives you the almost perfect graph layout for readability with the correct proportions, and it really gives you a nice layout. And then we'll look at the Enhanced ProTrader Timing graph with some tips for how to use it. And again, this is one of the favorite graphs for our founder, Dr. Bart DeLito, and the only thing I do a little bit different is I'll add the relative timing indicator to this graph, and we'll show you that in a second here. So first of all, weekly graph versus the end of week. In the weekly graph up at the top, you can see on the first day of the week, which on this case was September 21 when I was doing this video, that was the first day of the week. The Friday graph, or that the week last week, is here, and you can see the difference with the weekly graph and the end of week, where the end of week graph, again your standard graph layout in most charting packages, if not all, it's really just looking at the open, high, low, close data on the Friday, the last trading day of the week. Here we have the Friday close information here with all of that accumulated data part of this candlestick, and then the next candlestick on the Monday starts to accumulate data, and as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday go along, the information will be accumulated into this one candle. Quite a big difference. You can see it there, and if we look over at the prices, you can see again Monday, September 21st, the open price is the first data point in the candle. The closing price is the last data point for now, and then on Friday that'll be the closing price of Friday once we complete the week. And then we have the highest price achieved during the week and the lowest price that came along during the week. So very different again than the end of week candle, where we have the open, high, low, close of the Friday as our data points. And it makes quite a difference, and you can see it in the candlesticks how full they are, how well developed they are in the weekly graph compared to the end of week. And you can see a lot more of the investor's sentiment with these graphs. Here we've got some real clear candlestick patterns and the wicks giving us direction on investor sentiment and a potential trend reversal. So you often see patterns more complete and you have investor sentiment showing up more clearly. So I think the weekly graph, I know, is favored by almost all of our VectorVest subscribers, and now you have an understanding of why it is superior to the end of week graph. So we're going to go into the program and have a look at this. If you do like the content that you're seeing in these videos, please click on the like button and share the video with your friends. We'll grow our audience for the Canadian and international content that we're showing you in the YouTube channel, and we'll get into the application settings and the Enhanced ProTrader Timing. Let me just shut off the webcam here, and we'll go into Canada first. So I'll just bring it up on my main screen here. So I've just got the stock viewer open. I have set the default to relative safety just by left clicking on the relative safety column, and from here I can click on graph all, and it opens up with my default graph with price, the 40-day moving average, and the relative timing indicator in the subgraph. Relative timing is a very smart, very fast, intuitive indicator that often shows sort of price direction even before price itself gets underway. So it's a very strong indicator, and I like to put it on the Enhanced ProTrader Timing graph as well. So from here I click on the graph layouts, and I'll just scroll down a bit, but here is, if I can get down there, there's the Enhanced ProTrader Timing layout. I just left click on it and it sets it up in the subgraph. We've got price, the 30-day weighted moving average in white, and the envelopes are in blue. And typically I will just take the envelopes right off just for now. And then the DPO, the detrended price oscillator, is in the subgraph along with the MACD. So I'll come up to add parameter, capital appreciation, and I'll add the relative timing indicator and click on it. It adds it to the bottom of my graph, and I do like to see it closer to the top. So for now I'll just check off the MACD and the DPO, and then when I click back onto the DPO, I've got it where I want it, right below the RT, and then I'll click on the MACD and it's right below the DPO. I can also add volume here, which is always a good idea, although I'm not going to add it to the graph right away, but once I get closer to making a decision, I'll click on the volume just to see if there's any great volume spikes as there was back here and back here, for example. And from here I'm just going to change the colors on the MACD. I'll right click, change the style, and I'm consistent where I want the green above the red. Green is good, the red is not as good, and we'll click on OK, and I've got my color scheme the way I want. Notice I've got end of day and I've got a 1-year graph, and if I went end of day and click on best fit, for my computer screen VectorVest has automatically adjusted the span and the number of candles that it's showing to give me a very highly readable graph layout. It's about a 4, almost a 5-month graph now, and it's just makes it a very readable layout. I can always toggle back to a 1 year or longer if I like, but I'm going to just leave it there for now. And if I wanted to go to the weekly graph, there's the weekly best fit, and it takes me out almost 2 years, 1 year and 10 months, and I've got a very readable graph layout yet again. And if I did want to change my default settings for that layout, I come to the Tools tab up here at the right, Application Settings, click on the Graphs tab, and we've got end of day, and I can just change that to weekly. And then typically it's set to 1 year. I'm just going to come in and set it to best fit, and that'll change my default layout to the weekly best fit. A great starting point once you get your initial analysis of the stock using the weekly graph, then you might bring it into the daily for a faster buy signal. So I'll click on apply and close out, and now my default layout is all set. I do like this color scheme and the layout. Notice the date line. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for RT hitting a higher low here and crossing above 1. I'm looking for at least one of the DPO and the MACD to be positive. And in this case, the DPO is above the 0 line and positive, starting to move up. So I'd be quite comfortable placing a buy order the very next day. And we go from there. We had a pretty nice run from 136 to 190 on that candle when it crossed below the 30-day weighted moving average. You could come out earlier, of course, depends on where you put your stop price. Here's another signal, RT hitting a higher low, crossing above 1, DPO positive, not quite positive on the MACD as yet, and again 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as I wrote in my essay, and we've got 2 out of the 3 here very bullish, and we actually have price above the 30-day, so a good buying opportunity at $118, and we're at 181 right now. Here's Shopify, which is always a bit of a tricky one to trade, I find, but with this layout, when the DPO is rising as it is here, RT crossing above 1 again on the weekly, best fit, very readable graph. Not quite positive on the MACD, but we're close. You could wait for the MACD to also turn positive, and now you've got a great entry at $831, and it got well over 1,000 as we went forward. So that's a few tips using the Enhanced ProTrader layout, and it works the same in all of our countries. I'll just pull up the US very quickly. And this watch list is the NASDAQ 100. Zoom is right up at the top. When I click on Graph All, and I've got my default already set for end of day, and this would be a terrific signal with the DPO pulling above 0 line. MACD not quite positive, so we might wait one more day. And then we've got all 3 plus price above the 30-day weighted moving average. So we're in a great buy position. And if I go to weekly graph, whoops, there we go, best fit. And we could see that very strong signal right here, maybe even a little bit earlier with RT crossing above 1 right here. DPO positive, oh, not quite positive, it's still at minus 13, so we might have to wait a bit, but the MACD is positive, so with MACD RT positive, we could go ahead and we're ready to buy. That's at $75, and just look what it's done. So very strong signal, best fit, weekly graph. I love that layout with the Enhanced ProTrader. And if you like the color scheme and this the levels that I've set here, you would just click on Graph Layouts, save and modify, add new layout, and just give it a name, RT perhaps, DPO, MACD, oops, MACD, and I put in BS for the black screen. I love the black screen for my home use with the vibrant colors on the candlesticks and the other indicators. So then you're all, oh, I've got that in there already, and I'll just call it version 2. Click OK, and we're all set. So every time I come back in, if I change the layout, I can go right back and select the layout that I just saved. All right, so with that, we're going to finish up just quickly here. We'll cover what we learned. The weekly graph, again, very much favored by most of our subscribers over the standard end of week graph. a lot more information. How to change your default settings, and that use of the best fit is really ideal for readability. And the Enhanced ProTrader Timing Graph, just some tips on how to get terrific entry points and even use it for exits as well. So with that, if you like what you see in the VectorVest program, it's just $9.95 for 30 days to try it out. There's our number to call. And once again, click the like button if you like this content, and my email contact is stan.heller@vectorvest.ca. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.